finger. I'm going right about below the center because remember we have that bow in those ears. Watch though. I'm putting down many lines until I'm feeling comfortable with my shape language here. Once I have my messy, sketchy circle, we're going to drop in some guidelines. Right through the middle, I'm going to go through my center, down the bottom, and up to the tippity top, stretching in my center guide. Now these lines help us figure out where the nose and everything goes, and we need one more as well. About midway from left to right, we're placing in our horizontal line this time. And moms, dads, these might be hard, so assist if you need me. But besides this, we need actually 2 more guides. Before we lock in and start getting detailed with our expression for Minnie, we're going to place in the guides of her ears. So up on my left quadrant, I'm just going to stretch through a nice tall diagonal line right through that center of the left. Now I'm going to do the same thing, a tall diagonal line through the center of my right. Now we're going to find the height of our ears. So use your fingers, take the top section of your circle here. Once you got that top section, jump over to that line we just sketched in and make a mark. And do the same thing over here and make a mark for your height. Now this is about where you want to land your ears there when you start drawing them in. But this is called the 45-cent rule, y'all. If your main base for Miss Minnie's face is 25 cents, then those base for your ears are about 10 cents, equaling all the way up to 45. Now, as we are drawing Minnie, I need you all to bear with me. For a little bit, you all might be like, Emily, are we drawing Minnie or Mickey? And the character designs are unbelievably close, okay? So just believe me, we are drawing Minnie Mouse today, all right? Right now we got a hidden Mickey. Let's go ahead and put in a feature. We're going to start by anchoring in our nose. So a nice oval that lives right underneath our horizontal guide here in the center. When we look at character designs between Mickey and Minnie, Minnie's nose is one of the biggest differences besides those lashes, right? Her nose is actually a little bit wider and a little bit squishier than Mickey's. So once I sketch in my oval, I'm actually going back on through and starting to lock down my lines. So I yapped about it earlier. This is where we're actually doing it with a little bit more pressure, a little bit more confidence. I'm going all the way around my lines, choosing my favorite ones and locking those ones down. I go back and forth, make it nice and bold, and it's like magic, y'all. It helps that messiness start to disappear because this starts to lift up and forward on our page. Now, Minnie was born and created on the same day as Mickey, and if you were in my Mickey Mouse show, you might hear some similar facts. But with this character design, it was designed in 1928, animation was black and white. We're going to utilize that black and white technique and jump inside and start coloring in our button nose. Now to see Minnie's nice big snout, because she actually has a pretty big nose, right? She's not flat, she is definitely rounded out. We need to show off a rainbow curve, mirroring that same arch as your button nose. So go around the top section here, start sketching in lightly a rainbow. When you're feeling comfortable, start to lock it down. Now Minnie, she's probably one of my favorite characters. We see her always looking absolutely fabulous in the park. She even has her own house over in Disneyland side where you can go on in and see how cute it is. I want to know who her interior designer is because I want a pink and purple house like that. And speaking of pink and purple, it's literally Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. But now it's time to give her her smile because she's going to be having a great day. You need a pencil? Awesome. Oh, it's not perfect. Yeah. All right, but she has a big old smile. So we're going to utilize a technique called connecting the dots, kind of iconic. She's a really happy mouse. So right underneath her nose, 3 little dots, one in between where our nose center width of our silhouette is. Go ahead all the way to the top sides. Now we got that nice shape there. We're going to go in between and start placing down a very stretched out U curve. Now Minnie's a happy gal. She has a lot to be happy about, right? Her boyfriend's rich. He has 6 castles. She can drive around and hang out. She gifted him a dog, but she has a cat. She's living fabulously, right? She even has her own boutique now with her bestie Daisy. She's really living the life. So we don't want to give Minnie this small little smile. You totally could, but it's really not going to hit as big as if we give her what's called a laughing smile. Laughing smile is what we always see her with around the parks. So just jumping on top of where our U curve is, placing in these small little rainbows. These little rainbows show us as an audience that her cheeks are being squished upwards. And just like me, when I smile nice and big, I got really chubby cheeks. We all have smile lines, so that's what we're emphasizing right now. Now with these, we are starting the frame of how her smile will begin. To go ahead and finish it off, we're going to stretch down another U curve. It's a little bit wider than her nose. This is also another difference between her and Mickey. Her U curve for her smile go outside just a little bit wider than where her nose is. Start to bring down this really steep U towards your center guideline, and it does stick out underneath your original circle for your Miss Minnie's frame. Now, when we have a big smile like this, what are we going to see inside, y'all? A tongue, yes. I think I also heard teeth, but they actually don't really put teeth on these characters unless they're angry or about to eat like a corn dog or something like that. So if you want to add teeth and maybe Minnie's eating a heart-shaped pretzel, that'd be crazy. But up to you guys. Free will is amazing. But inside our mouth, we do have a smile. So going from our left side here, I'm reaching in a nice small rainbow from my left section to my center guideline. And to show some perspective, we're going to place in one more that lives on the center guideline to the right side, allowing a little bit of a crossover in the middle. Just like we did our nose, jump inside that back negative space, shave this in. And with a smile like this, her lip is going outside of our frame, so we need a chin to show off that she does still have a chin. So underneath, mirror that exact same U curve you drew for your bottom lip, and go back down and really stretch out this U and allow it to start fading right back on inside of your original circle. We want to show that they do live on the same plane. Now, Minnie, I know we're not supposed to reveal age, but I said she was created in 1928. So if you're a fast math magician, you would know that is how many years? 96. It will be 97 here in November this year. She is a November baby, same as Mickey. And good for Mickey and Minnie, they're never going to forget anniversary or birthdays because it's literally shared. So that's nice. But with this, they do have these chubby, rounded out cheeks. And Minnie's are just slightly chubbier than Mickey's. She has a great skincare routine, guys. She always wears her SPF. She puts on her nightly retinol. She knows how to make sure her cheeks always look good. So right above our smile lines, place in another rainbow that goes right under your horizontal guide and start sweeping outwards towards your outer circle. Now when we're setting up these frames, this is going to be easier for us to bring outwards our cheeks when we place down these two rainbows. Because now, watch on my left. I'm going to go from my rainbow and start bringing it outwards, creating a nice J shape, creating a candy cane curve that goes all the way, landing right back to our chin. So once you have that angled out for you, that's when you go right down and start locking in those features, connecting your outer cheek right back to your chin. Now, Minnie Mouse, her original design, right, is a little bit different than what we see her today as, or even in the wonderful world of Mickey Mouse cartoons. When we see her original design, she had fully blacked out eyes, wore a hat instead of a bow, but she, as Taylor Swift says, has many eras. So we love that for her, right? As we start to build up more features for Miss Minnie, I want you all to start thinking about how you want your Minnie Mouse to look. When we draw in her eyes, you can create different shapes and different textures. Maybe she has hearts in her eyes because she's looking at Mickey. Or maybe she has stars because she's dreaming her favorite dreams. But she can also have pie eyes, iconic pie eyes, which we've seen in the 1920s and 30s, which led to pupils, which we know her as today. And actually, her newest design, same as Mickey from the Runaway Railway series, has pie eyes again. Speaking of Runaway Railway, do I have any Runaway Railway fans in here? Yes, I'm a big Runaway Railway fan as well. You know, my first place started out in Toontown when I started working with Disney. So, dreams can come true if you have dreams. They can get pushed far and big. But working with the Runaway Railway, I noticed some really fun stuff about those eyes, right? You can see pie eyes shaped like this, be big and expressive, have fun, energy. So if you're like, Emily, I don't want to draw eyes like you, you can draw them like this if you want, or however you want. But eyes are really important. So we're going to start with 2 tall ovals right on our snout line. So go right towards that top of the snout and start sketching in some pretty tall ovals. They should pass up about the halfway part of your top of your forehead. Now this is the section where you really gotta trust me that this is Minnie and not Mickey, okay? So right now, you are like, Emily, I swear, this is Mickey. We're gonna create some magic and really change this up. We're calling these surfboards in sand because these ovals lay right on our snout line and watch as they disappear right on that rainbow we drew earlier. I like to start locking in the outer parenthesis shape of our eyes first before I go to the top of my oval and lock down that top section of the rainbow that connects our parentheses. When you draw in tall shapes like this, it helps you start building up similarity between the two. Now when you have your parentheses locked in, you can go right to the tippity top and start locking in your little rainbow at the very, very top. Now guys, before I put in my pupils, she does look a little scary right now. Maybe she saw something on the runaway railway, kind of ghostly. But let's go ahead and with the flick of your pencil, watch as we create magic. Ready? We go 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. 1, 2, and 3. You got Minnie. I like to go right on in and start thickening out her lashes. Yes, she went to Sephora. Yes, she got falsies. We are making them nice and bold. I created the base to be a little bit wider, allowing there to be a nice little change between the width from the base all the way back onto that tippity top, okay? And maybe she has a date with Mickey tonight. She wants to look her absolute best. So, have fun with it, be silly with it. This is your illustration. I'm doing my classic pupils right down this bottom corner. You guys can do heart stars like I was yapping about earlier. I can't wait to see them at the end. But with eyeballs, it is a rule of thumb. You want your pupils to be one of the darkest things on your illustration. So jump back on into that pupil shape. Really, really lock it in. Make them nice and bold, okay? Now she does have something on her head, which is called a character mask. We need to place that in. So going in between her eyeballs, right by that center guideline, the start of her character mask is a little bit smaller than Mickey's. So it's a more narrow V than his. So create this like widow's peak look right there in the center. And watch on my left side as I go from that V and I start creating this tall rainbow right above her left eye. It goes to that outer edge of our circle. And I just start to slowly bring around a rainbow curve. And watch as I go swoop right back on down to that cheek mark. And just like that, you got your side of your character mask. Now, character masks are utility for animators. They allow characters to always have their eyes be clearly read by an audience because ink would smear around sometimes on illustrations. So go ahead, create this. And now we know character masks to be kind of an iconic look for characters here at the Walt Disney Studio. But other characters from different studios, like Betty Boop, also utilize it. And did you guys know that there's actually some characters that were created by Walt before Mickey and Minnie? What are their names if you know? You can shout them out. Oswald. They're kind of iconic. The reason why Walt even started his own studio.
Oswald.
Oswald, yes, and Oswald's wife. This is a bonus question. Do you know who it is?
Hortensia.
Yes! OMG, we got super fans. Oswald and Hortensia don't get enough credit as, a lot of people only think about Minnie and Mickey being Walt's first big characters. But he actually created Hortensia and Oswald under a different studio because just like all of us, we have to start off somewhere, right? So he worked for a studio. We don't really like to name names, but it was Universal. And he worked for them. And they actually took his characters when he wanted to expand his animation studio, get more animators, get more funding, create more cartoons. They said, LL, JK, we're going to take half your animators and cut your funding in half, by the way. And he was like, no, I'm leaving forever and I'm making new cartoons. So he designed Minnie and Mickey. But if you look at Oswald and Hortensia and look at Mickey and Minnie, there's extreme similarities, like character masks, the way the eyes are, the smiles. It's very similar. And that's because we consider them to be the older brother and sister for Mickey and Minnie. All right, guys, this is my favorite part. What part is it? Can you guess? The bow. Alright, so this is the fun part. We're going to start with an oval right in the center of our forehead. We're starting nice and centered with a tall oval upwards towards the top of the page. Now I'm going to keep my pencil nice and light real quick. We're going to build up a triangle shape to help us figure out proportions of our bow. So kind of mirroring that tall V that we drew for our ears, I'm creating another V that goes above our ears. But our bows do cut right in front of our foreground of our ears on both sides. It is a rule in the studios whenever we create a hat or a bow or accessory, it must live in the foreground of those ears. So now that we got those really nicely shaped out triangles, I'm going to go ahead and start creating rainbow curves all the way around to create my bow. So I start right on the top sections first and go from my outer oval to the top point of that nice sharp line, creating these little rainbows. Now, you guys, her bow comes in many forms, and like she said, she has a boutique. She can wear a polka dot bow or a heart bow for Valentine's, whatever you fancy. But we're going to bring down a rainbow midway to show a fold on both sides, almost like a little butterfly, right? And then another rainbow at the bottom that lands right back down to her face. Now, we want to show off that there is some folding because it is only natural when we have such a fabulous bow to fold on the head. So go ahead and just place down a few more little rainbows that show us the way our bow is moving. Now, if you want to go ahead and color in, that's up to you. But the last thing you must do for her ears is go back around and shape out the other part of the feature that we do see. We notice here that her bow's in the foreground, right? So we only need to lock in the part of the ear that sticks out behind it. And that's why we do her ears at the very, very end, because we want to make sure we don't accidentally overlap some dark lines, right? Now, anything you want to add here is going to be totally extra credit, y'all, up to you. But everyone absolutely needs a signature. So when you're done with Minnie, go back around, find your favorite place in your drawing, and maybe add in, a big, nice, and proud signature. Because you all just drew your own Minnie Mouse. All right, y'all, how'd you guys do?